everybody. Bear Bets Podcast is back. Your Euro and Copa semifinal preview edition here. I'm your host, the Bear, Chris Fallica, joined in by my co-host, Geoff Schwartz, and a pretty wild couple of days here in the quarterfinals in Euro. You look at three go to penalties, extra time, just a wild couple of days here with these dramatic late goals and games being decided on kicks. But we know our final four. We know our two semifinal matchups. You enjoying this? I know you weren't the biggest soccer guy before we got going here, but are you enjoying this outside of your Romelu Lukaku Golden Boot experiment?
Yes, the wagering has not been as much fun as maybe I thought it would be. You made it seem very romantic to wager on soccer. I'm not sure. I've had four goals scored that have been taken away from me. The three for the one today for the Netherlands player Bear, who they created an own goal. I know you had that as well. Here's look again. Novice take. This might piss people off. I don't know. Sorry, soccer people. I think it's the truth. Like there's a big difference in watching like the good teams play, in my opinion, the bad teams play. Like after we got past the group stage. To me, again, as someone who doesn't watch very often, it has been some really, really good soccer. I know maybe I'm ignoring the other soccer that was played, but Bear, these games have been really good. They've been competitive. You could see the talent difference between the teams that have improved and moved on versus the teams that sort of never made out. Also, sort of a USA problem, but we can talk about that in another podcast. Like it's just like you can see how much better these players are, how crisper they play. The passes are better. The shots are better. The just natural ability is better. And so they've been very fun to watch. I've been watching here. I'm on vacation a little bit, watching on my phone. My wife is like, what are you watching? I'm watching soccer. It's been fun to watch. All the penalties. It does feel like the penalty kicks. Do you think me and you can make one? It just feels like if you just get the goalie to choose a side.
Yeah, we can make one.
Before you kick the ball. If you just kick the ball straight. If you just kick the ball straight at the goalie, the way they jumped to either side, I feel like we could do something like that.
I was going to say, and we would have an advantage over the goalie in a sense that if you saw Jordan Pickford's thermos water bottle today, you saw what basically they have people whose job it is to just analyze and break down every one of their opponent's past penalty kicks. And you saw with the Kanji dive left, and that was what he did, and that's where he went, and that ultimately was the difference in the penalty. There's no history for you and I. We can just step up there and let it rip, and it's a guess one way or another. I would think if we both lined up there against someone, let's do that at some point. Let's get you and me to each have a penalty against Peter Schmeichel. How about that? Let's see if we can arrange that moving forward. That would be a great segment for this. That would boost our YouTube segment quite a bit. Yeah, you would maybe we need to fly you out here. We'll go to some local field or home of the Galaxy or wherever. We'll put Peter in goal, but one of the greatest keepers that there were, and you and I can take a shot at beating him. How about that?
I know this is a Euro podcast, but when the Copas come to Charlotte for a semifinal and a third place game, we should make that happen. I'll go to the stadium and we'll find a way to shoot some penalty shots against a goalie. I don't know what goalie, some goalie, but I'm down for that. I mean, I can't kick worth a crap, but I'll try my best, Bear. I'll try my best to do it. These professionals have been so good. But yeah, down to four teams now. It's gone by. Feels like pretty fast, and we have our final four now.
Yeah, by the numbers and the knockout round, the 12 knockout round games, including the quarters and the round of 16, you've only had 8 first half goals in 12 matches. So if that was something that you caught on to, good on you. 17 of the 25 goals came in the second half. 7 were 80th minute or later. You had 5 matches go to extra time, including both England matches. 4 went to penalties, and you've got the second place team and the third place team from the same group, Netherlands and France, both moving on to the semis. And ironically, in the quarterfinals, I always love to joke with people. Like they always talk about expected goals and how it manifests and ultimately it plays out and pans out. Well, the only thing you can do, and again, was proven right, the only thing you can expect when you win expected goals is expect to lose. because all four teams that had a higher expected goal total in the quarterfinals wind up losing. So you got to finish. If you don't finish, the Carbon gods are going to come back and bite you. And I mean, you alluded to the Cody Gakpo goal earlier today. That would have put him on 4 and the sole leader in the boot race, and that also hurt because we had him as an anytime scorer today. But that was a huge comeback by the Dutch today to get into the semis against England, and that game will be on Wednesday. But the first game will be on Tuesday. Spain, who have been the best side in the tournament, I think everybody can kind of agree on that, and they're going to go up against France. Spain plus 160 to win on the three-way. France plus 210. The draw is plus 200. Spain minus 125 to advance. France plus 100. So any early thoughts on this one from what you've seen from these two teams so far?
I didn't know that France is as Iowa football right now. I didn't expect that, Bear, coming into this, right? They had the semifinals having scored 0 open play goals in 5 games. Austria own goal, 0-0 versus Netherlands, a PK versus Poland, the Belgium own goal, and beat Portugal on PKs. They can't score, Bear. Isn't that a problem? I know Mbappe is hurt, and I will say, though, I am surprised. I think he's hurt more than he lets on, because I know that because the nose, look, he hurt his nose, obviously. He's wearing the face mask, and they mentioned on the telecast he's trying to avoid headers, which makes a lot of sense. But, Bear, he's a good enough athlete to not hit his face on a header. You know, like he knows where to shoot with his head. I feel like he's just avoiding that altogether because his nose is just he's in a lot of pain. It hurts a lot. It's messed up. It doesn't feel good. He's avoiding contact in the box as well. And I know France won without him on penalties, but it does feel like, Bear, if he cannot play in this game up to, I don't know, 85, 90%, like if he's not going to make any chances in the box because he's worried about getting hurt again, that feels like France can't win this game.
Yeah, there were questions about his fitness coming into the competition. Was he fully fit? And it looked like he was fine in that first match from a fitness standpoint, but then he suffered the broken nose. And you're in the match, in the quarterfinal match, he definitely took a shot with the ball to the side of his head, and it caused that mass to kind of bang up against his nose. So I wonder if that was a combination of maybe something, a delayed headache or a migraine or some kind of vision issue maybe that came on late, or was he just gassed from running however many miles he ran during the match? And he basically said to Deschamps, hey, I'm not a benefit to being out there. If I have to take a penalty, it's not going to be my best effort. So I'll give him credit for saying that. Like, I am not the best man to be putting out there. Put someone else out there. But I do agree with you. It concerns me, and I think, and we kind of joked about this last time, that every French knockout round is the same thing. It's 0-0, and you feel like the underdog has them on the ropes, and they have an opportunity to beat him, and they're getting chances. And then next thing you know, they're either getting an own goal, a deflection off of something, or wind up winning in kicks. So that will have to be the plan here again. But I wonder if you're going to see some lineup changes, because they did look more dangerous on the attack with Rabiot suspended on the yellow card and Camavinga in there. Camavinga probably should have won the game in regulation. He missed a pretty good look. But I think France is better with Camavinga in there. I think you should probably put Giroud in there earlier. Maybe you bench Griezmann. They need to figure some things out, because I don't think sitting and absorbing pressure for 90 minutes against Spain is the best way to go about winning. I'm going to be betting draw and under 2.5 here. We talked about France's lineup. Spain's going to have some issues with their lineup too, because you have Denny Carvajal, one of their better defenders, out. Pedri, who is a fantastic young player, he's hurt. And Robert Lenormand, one of their other central defenders, he's out. So they're going to have a different defense. Nacho will start, and maybe Grimaldi comes in there as well. So they're going to be a little bit different on the back line as well. So maybe someone with not as much experience will make a mistake, and that will help France. But I am going to be on under 2.5. I am going to be on draw. So maybe Spain or draw on the double chance as well. I can't see this match being a wide open affair, certainly with it was funny. One of my good buddies was joking, sent me a text yesterday and was joking how the King of Spain needs to go into the Spanish locker room and declare them Euro 2024 champion, kind of like President Nixon did in the Texas Arkansas game. Like Germany Spain was the championship game. That was worthy of a title game, and we said we thought the winner of that game would win it. So we'll see if ultimately they do. But that was a good line, referencing a little good college football history in there with soccer, with the way that match was played.
You mentioned a couple of different ways to wager on these games. I will say, I know I mentioned I'm not winning as many soccer wagers as I thought. Maybe, look, they're low. I'm betting a little bit amount on these goal scoring numbers, but some of the different ways to do this, Bear, has been fun. I know we both had, I think, the other day, a draw on under 2.5. It probably was the France game as well, right? We had that draw on under 2.5 as well. So there are many different ways to wager on these games. We took a 0-0 the other night, didn't hit, but that was a fun way to look at games. So there's many ways to do this, guys. If you're like me, trying to figure it out as you go, I haven't done this very much. You don't just have to bet straight up on who wins or who advances. You can just wager on many different things here, Bear.
Yeah, no, you can. And one of the other things you can bet on is player of the tournament, golden boot. And we saw the boot affected in the final game of the day. So you still have the three players stuck on 3 goals because Gakpo's goal was changed from his goal to an own goal. So you have him and Musiala and Mikadadze from Georgia. Both those 2 guys are out. So we got Gakpo and Schwartz is out from as well. So Gakpo still has an opportunity to get another goal either against England or should they advance in the final. If not, you're going to get some nasty dead heat tickets and really reduce your odds. But the other bet, which we have some guys involved in, is the player of the tournament. And this market, it seems pretty straightforward, except for one team. I think if Spain win, you're going to get Rodri, likely. He's the favorite right now. He's a short shot to win player of the tournament. I think you mean Lamal will get some consideration as well, should he be as dynamic as he's been so far. But I think Spain, you've got one of those 2 guys. France, you're probably going to get the keeper Maignan or Conte, or Saliba's even gotten some run lately, and he's getting really hyped and publicized in the telecast and in social circles. Like, there were offshores that had the keeper and they had Saliba at a 50-1 even after the match. So search around, you might be able to find a good price on one of those 2 guys, because it's not going to be Mbappe, it's not going to be Griezmann, it's not going to be Giroud, like all it's not going to be Dembele, like all of the usual suspects you thought it might have been for France. It's not going to be one of those guys. So look around, you can maybe find some stray prices there on either the keeper or Saliba, the back. And then the Dutch, it'll probably be Gakpo, I would think. He's 3 goals and been great. Memphis Depay has been terrible. They need to sit him. We'll get more on that in a bit. So, and then you have England. England could be like the Connor McDavid Stanley Cup situation where you've got a player win player of the tournament on a losing team. Because frankly, nobody on England deserves to be named player of the tournament. They've been a boring, horrible team to watch that have been terrible for 90% of their matches, and they're like the blackjack player who hits on 16 again, the deal is holding a 6, and they wind up getting a 5 to draw 21. Like, that's what their matches have been. Like, if England were to win, like, I don't know who on their team you could make a legitimate case for to be player of the tournament. Bellingham's been bad outside of he scored the goal, it was great. Kane's been average. Like, if you were looking to take a shot, I guess maybe at one guy, maybe Bukayo Saka, because he kind of adjusted his role in this game, and he did score, and he looked dangerous today. So, like, if moving forward, like, if they win, it could be Saka, but like there's a chance, I think, that if England were to win this, you could be looking at a losing. You could be looking at Rodri or Maignan for somebody. On the losing team that winds up winning this thing.
Why doesn't England play with the same sort of energy and focus and intensity for the first 75 minutes? I understand you pacing yourself is important in sporting matches, including this one, but it feels like they're only playing their best when they absolutely have to, Bear. Doesn't that catch up to you pretty quickly against a Dutch team? Like, that feels like not a way to win against the three teams left. I mean, outside of France, obviously can't score, but I think France would probably beat England right now the way England's playing.
No, I think a couple of things on that. I think the head coach, Gareth Southgate, is very hesitant to make lineup changes until he faces desperation. And when you're desperate, you do desperate things and you kind of move people around and you put more attackers on and you try and create some mismatches and you take some more chances. And that's ultimately what's happened. He had Saka in a position where he was able to make a big play. He brought Tony on in a situation against Slovakia, and he made a chip on a corner to set up the tying goal. So I think that's the biggest criticism people have of Southgate, is that he's not willing to make these adjustments early on and put them in a better position to be more forward pressing, in more of a threat early in matches. And the other thing that I think is an issue too, and I think it was John Stones that might have even mentioned it before the match earlier against Switzerland, was that they're not necessarily playing where they've played on their club team. So they're not as comfortable in those spots on the field in serving those roles. So it's kind of like the All-Star team where maybe you're a shortstop and you're playing third base, or you're a center fielder and you're playing right field. I think those things are going on, and we'll see what happens, because if you look at the game against the Dutch, England plus 155 favorite, Netherlands plus 180, 215 on the draw, and England minus 125, Dutch 105 to advance. No suspensions. Both teams will be at full strength here in terms of yellows, which is a good thing. I think this is going to be another ugly, boring match, because like we just discussed, Southgate is not going to change the lineup. He's going to do what he does, and you're looking at a Dutch team which is more than comfortable to kind of absorb pressure. And there are a lot of familiar players in familiarity with this side, because there are a lot of players on that Dutch team that play in England. So they're familiar with those players. Certainly Nathan Ake, Virgil van Dijk on that back line. They know all these guys from their battles with Liverpool and City. So it's like, I can't see a ton of goals. I'm going to play under 2.5. I'm going to play draw. 8 of the 12 games in the knockout round were under 2.5. Yeah. So like that's a good just an auto play in a high stakes soccer match. But we talked about England with maybe some lineup changes. I will, if I'm Ron Koeman from the Netherlands, I'm looking at some lineup changes here as well, because Memphis Depay is a zero factor. He should not be starting on the pitch. I get Weghorst is better coming off the bench, and fine, bring him in off the bench, but start Frimpong, start Malen, a little bit of more of a threat than Memphis Depay is, because Depay has not been good at all. And fortunately, because of the heroics of a great header from his center back today, and then the own goal that was taken away from Gakpo, which was like an inch away from hitting his foot, and we almost got 4. But I see 2 semifinals. I see 2 semifinals. They're going to wind up going extra time again here.
So 2 things, Bear. Netherlands or draw is minus 210. Is that too rich for you to take?
No,
in the double chance?
No, not at all.
Yeah,
not at all.
I like that one. And also too, a par draw lay, a draw parlay.
Let's get it out. Let's get it out. Draw parlay. There we go.
Parlay.
Let's talk it through.
Sorry, I'm on vacation. My brain's on vacation too. We did that the other night. It didn't actually hit, but I feel like going back to that might be fun to throw a little sprinkle on, right?
Why not? You've seen 12 matches in the knockout round. You've had 5 draws. 3 of the 4 quarterfinals were draws. So again, the way these matches are going to set up and play out, I think there's a really good possibility that we're looking at 2 draws here in the semifinal before we get to the final as well. So
plus 799. Plus 799.
Good. I like that. Yeah. Well, maybe the book will round it up to plus 800 for us and make it really nice. So that's all for our Euro conversation. Now, unless you got something else to add and throw in, how's the trip?
The trip was great. It's a lot of fun. We've had a good time. Kids are at camp, so parents are playing a little bit, and we'll be
Beautiful.
back and ready to watch. There's one TV in the whole resort, Bear. I have it on Fox now. I've been going up and down
Good.
from the one TV watching. I watch all the PKs from the one TV room we have here. It's been fun.
Now, that's great because we went on vacation, I guess, about, oh gosh, maybe it was 8 years ago, I would say. We went to Peter Island Resort in the British Virgin Islands, and it was the same thing. There was one TV in like the central clubhouse area that was on, and it was great to just get away. And like, literally the only thing on the island was the resort, and unfortunately it got destroyed in those hurricanes. But I believe they're opening up again this fall. So if you it's my shameless plug for my shameless unpaid plug for Peter Island Resort. You'll have a great time if they're open. Okay, and enough talk about vacation, and now let's talk about Copa America semifinals, which are set as well. Argentina will play Canada on Tuesday night in the first semifinal. Second time those two nations have met in the competition so far. That of course played in the first match of the tournament, a 2-0 win for Argentina. And then in the second semifinal, it seems like this is the heavyweight semi. You have Colombia and Uruguay, two teams which have looked like the two best teams in the competition so far. That will be Wednesday in Charlotte, North Carolina, Geoff Schwartz. Did you hear where that semifinal is?
It's at 8 p.m., Bank of America Stadium on Wednesday. I have nothing to do Wednesday night, Bear. My kids are still at camp. So maybe I'll go. I'll put on a team jersey and root for someone. Who should I
go?
Who should I have? Who should I get? Who should I root for? Like what kit? Is it called a kit, right? What kit should I have to my house?
Well, I would say for our teammate Melissa Ortiz, Colombia would be the side that you want to put that jersey on for. However, for the Bear Bets podcast futures that we gave it earlier, Uruguay would be the team that you'd want to put that jersey on. But people, I think, here Brazil fans or Argentina, like those are kind of the two giants in South America. Colombia have the best fans in all of South America. Their fans are awesome. I guarantee you that stadium will be 2/3 full with Colombia fans on Wednesday night. So choose your wardrobe wisely. Not that you're going to get in any trouble, but you might get a little good lighthearted ribbing if you have the Uruguay pale blue on, which is a beautiful color, by the way. But the Colombia fans are awesome, and you should go just to take in the atmosphere.
We talked about I got to do that challenge where I take a PK against a professional goalie. We got to make that happen.
Yeah, we're going to need to get you in touch with. I don't know if that's going to be Stu and John yet or not. If it is, I'll have to get you in touch with Stu and John to try and get you down there on the field and maybe take a penalty a few hours before the game.
That'd be very funny. That would be oh man, that'd be funny. It would not go well. I know we joked about it because we've watched so many PKs now over the last, 2 rounds of matches basically. And it seems very simple, right? Like the goalie is, I know that the water bottle thing was fun. We talked about that. I noticed them carrying the water bottle. I thought to myself, why are they carrying the water bottle? They're defending a free kick, a penalty kick, and then they're going away. And then they mentioned on the broadcast, you could see in pictures, right, where it says what everyone does. But it does seem like the goalies, Bear, are just taking a guess, hoping they're right. And the ball's to be kicked sort of exactly where they're diving. And it can't be any higher, maybe it can't be lower. And so if you just kick the ball, my strategy is run up, kick the ball right down the middle. Right down the middle as the goalie does either direction. That would be my strategy for taking a PK.
It's ironic because Alexi Lalas is very opinionated in his view on penalties, that it's not a coin toss, it's not 50-50, that it is a skill that you practice and you drill into your mind. And I agree with the fact that it is a skill. It absolutely is a skill. And because I was watching the Uruguay Brazil match with Marisa Du, And when they got the penalties, I was like, yeah, I keep going back and forth because, yeah, it is a skill, but at the same time, it is just kind of pot luck. It is kind of a coin flip as to what way the goalie's guessing, and you can just see his face like processing it, like he was kind of in the same boat. Like he's like, it is a skill and a talent because like it's a perfect penalty is unsavable, but at the same time, it is a little bit of a luck. Are you going to hit it right? Is the goalie going to guess right? So you can't go back and forth on is it a coin toss or not? I'm going to fill you in on something you probably never would have imagined, Jeff. A little deep inside the history of the Bear in high school football. The Bear actually kicked.
You did. You were the place kicker.
The Bear had one of those steel toe, straight on cows.
No,
old school. Mark Mosley, just get behind the ball and just straight on and go.
What was your best kick? Do you remember?
41 yards.
41 yards. I'm surprised you didn't walk on in Miami with that leg.
No, I don't think I was beating out Carlos Murphy. That's for sure. Yeah, I think it was more out of necessity in high school than anybody, because it was weird because our soccer season overlapped with football, so they were going on at the same time. So like anybody soccer, and it was like because the spring sport for up in the Northeast, you had baseball and lacrosse.
Lacrosse, yeah. I thought soccer was soccer is a fall sport, yeah.
Yeah, so like that's why. So yeah, I think I added a. I mean, I played soccer there at junior high, and then I was a goalie in soccer, and then high school I just had the old steel toe shoe and went straight on and just banged a couple through every now and then.
There you go, Bear. Who would have known? I never would have guessed.
Nope, never. No one. I have that shoe somewhere at home too. Maybe that'll be the. I'll bring it. You're going to bring the Oregon Ducks helmet.
I know.
I'm going to bring the steel toe, Saucony kicking shoe. Those will be our desk props this year for the football season. How about that? I have like 4 Miami helmets at home. I'm going to bring a Miami helmet and put it on the set. We'll have that as well.
I know we're getting a little bit off topic here, but I did write an article for Fox Sports on some futures, and that Miami to win the ACC, Bear, it's pretty juicy. We're not going to get there quite yet, but the schedule, Cam Ward, Damian Martinez, the ACC, I don't know, man. Plus 400. It's juicy, Bear, for the Hurricanes.
We're gonna get there. You said that we have about another 6 weeks or so before we really get into the start of the football season. Maybe 7 weeks. So we got some time to dive into some college football and then NFL, and I'm really looking forward to that because I got a couple of things in the NFL I played already, and we'll get going on that. But we'll get back to Tuesday night. So I got you all excited about Wednesday night. We skipped over Tuesday, which is Canada, Argentina. It feels like it's a formality. Argentina minus 275 or so, I think, to win regulation. Canada plus 800, draw plus 380, which you have of the 4 quarterfinals. 3 games did go to penalties. And then the other, obviously, was a total mismatch between Colombia and Panama. In the 4 semifinal games, your goal output, Colombia 5, other 7 teams 4. So I think this just goes to show you a little bit of a mismatch. And Argentina, obviously, a massive favorite, minus 550 to advance. How about my man Jacob Schaffelberg, by the way? He's playing the South American Schaffelberg, also known as Leo Messi.
Yeah,
that was a joke that was running around out there on social media the other night. But Schaffelberg's been someone involved in both of Canada's goals so far. He had the goal the other night and also had an assist. But they're going to need, I think, a lot of help to get by in this match. They had a good opportunity to tie the game or actually take the lead in the first game, but after that, it was all Argentina. If you looked at the expected goals, and what happens when you win expected goals, Jeff?
You lose the game.
You expect to lose. The only thing you can do is expect to lose.
Expect to lose.
But the first match of the tournament, Argentina had an XG of like 3.4, 19 shots, 10 on goal, and they just were a little bit unfortunate. They finally got that second goal late to make it academic. But with how poorly Canada defended, well, I shouldn't say they defended poorly, but even the other night when they wound up beating Venezuela, Venezuela had a ton of opportunities, and if they play like that again and give Argentina all those chances, this would be another 2 or 3-0 win for Argentina, I think.
So, like, to win by 2 goals. This is the exact margin. It's not 2+ goals, but to kind of go with that 2-0, right? They already beat them 2-0. Plus 250. I kind of feel like just minus 1.5. I got to find that number for Argentina.
Yeah, minus 1.5 is around plus 110, plus 150.
That probably feels the way to play this one. Maybe in Canada to have no goals as well.
Yep, that's around minus 135. That's probably the bet that I like the most, is Canada to be held. It's funny because you need to look sometimes, like Canada, whether a team total under a half or other team to keep a clean sheet. Sometimes you can find a market where like they're off a couple of pennies and you can save yourself a couple of pennies if you just find the better market.
Yes, and so I'm wagering that right now. Actually, I kind of like that wager. You've turned. Look, I'm an under person anyways, Bear, but you've turned me into a supreme under person after all these soccer wagers. Every day we text Bear. Bear, what do you got for us? Under. Just go through it. Under.
It's been fantastic, and it's funny. Gil Alexander on a numbers game would always like say, "Well, what's the one sport you love to bet on all the time?" And like it would be horse racing, and like and someone else asked me like if you had like one go-to bet or like a bet that you'd have to make like for your entire life savings, what would it be? And it would be an under 2.5 and a high stakes soccer action. I think the last month or so has kind of proven why it is that you've got teams that don't want to make a mistake. They're looking for one opportunity to get a counter, or maybe they get a penalty. These games are tight, and unders are usually the way to go. So yeah, I do like Canada's team total under a half, and I think Argentina halftime, full time is another way to potentially play. It's as good of a story as Canada has been. I think they're ranked 48th in the FIFA World Rankings. Their federation has no money. They're up against it, and Jesse Marsh has done a really good job there to get them where if you would have told Canada, whenever this tournament started, or even beforehand, like you're going to be playing Argentina in the semifinal of Copa America, they would have been like, okay, sure, great, and they are, and then you're going to get a third place game out of this now as well. Even if you lose, you'll play the loser of Colombia, Uruguay, and sometimes those third place matches are weird because the big name team a lot of times is disappointed that they're not in the final, and who knows what type of lineup you're going to get. And it might be an opportunity for Canada, even if they do lose, as I think they will, on Tuesday night, to maybe get a demoralized or diminished Uruguay or Colombia and wind up finishing third here. But for me, it's Argentina halftime, full time, Canada under a half a goal, and I like that. Argentina minus 1.5 at plus money too, like you were mentioning, Jeff.
All right, this might be a very silly comment I'm about to make on some of these numbers here. I see an Argentina minus 1.75 at plus 135 Bear. If they win by 2 goals, I don't understand why the
the Asian market.
Yes,
you get like part of your bet at like minus 1.5, and part of your bet there's a lot of math involved with that. I usually don't bet the Asian markets just because the math is tricky for me. And
right now on one of the apps I'm on, they only have Asian market for any of the spread totals right now.
Yeah, so
interesting. I didn't know. I learned something new every day doing this with you, Bear.
Yeah. I believe it's, and I feel like a dope for even saying this, but I believe it's like you get half your bet at like minus 1.5, and half your bet it's something else. That's why the price is a little bit better.
it's funky.
I know people are going to like scold me now for not knowing.
It says here that I just looked it up because it says It's a type of bet used in soccer that's designed to level the playing field between two teams by giving a handicap to the team that is seen as the weaker side. But I guess I don't understand. I guess I have to look at it as like how it actually pays out
Yeah,
because I don't
that's
understand.
that's the
Yeah,
thing.
yeah. So, all right, let's move it along.
I thought move it along. I thought you were going to move it right along to the second semifinal, the game that you were going to be at on Wednesday night in Charlotte, North Carolina. If you don't go, you're never doing another show. By the way, I just want to let you know that. But
Yeah, I'm not.
if I don't have a picture of you on that field, or at least in the stands, you are not invited back onto the Bear Bets podcast anymore. We'll be looking for we'll slide either Sammy P or Will or Fanta or someone
Yeah.
in here as
Oh yeah.
take your
I've
spot.
been. I've never used like the Fox card before. Like, hey, like I don't think the college football game that I really want to attend this year. I don't think it's going to be on our network, so I can't use it for that one
Unfortunately, it
there.
isn't. You're correct.
It isn't.
Unfortunately, it is not.
Oh, bad news, by the way. That is also Yom Kippur, that whole day, which is like the best day of football the entire year is October 12th.
So yeah, what does that mean now? Because I know there are different like people between like Orthodox and
yeah. Well,
kind of follow it, but like they'll break some right. Like how serious is this problem for you?
Well, I will not eat or drink for 24 hours. It ends up being a little bit longer than that. But I'll go to
sundown Friday. It's sundown Saturday.
This will be It ends up being like a little bit more than 24 hours. But I'll go to services Friday night, and I'll go to services Saturday. They go to about 1 o'clock. I sometimes make it back at night, sometimes for kind of like the end of night services. But I will keep my fast going even if I don't go to make it back. But once I get home from synagogue at 1 o'clock, I just lay in bed anyways. So I just lay in bed and watch football by myself. But this means I probably won't go to the game, which I thought I would maybe go to it. So
okay,
it is what it is. But I might use my Fox card for this game. I might be like, yo, like actually, are there sideline? Do people go on the sidelines for soccer matches?
Photogs only.
Oh.
Are down there now.
I don't know if it's like a football thing. Is
there's a press box and stuff.
I should. Oh, maybe I could get a press pass just in the press box.
Yeah, I don't know. You might have needed to get one before the tournament started. I don't know how the whole.
You know what, Bear? I'll just sit in the box that Rupert has. Okay, me and him will just hang out in the box. Okay, exactly. There we go. Done.
I'm glad you cleared that up because I was worried about that. Like, isn't there a holiday? Isn't there something where like you're not allowed to like no power, no like
look, Shabbat is technically that, but most modern Jews do not do that. If you're Orthodox, you will not use power during Shabbat. You will not drive. Now, driving is a little different now. Like if you have to drive to synagogue, you have to do it, right? Like you have to use that. But a lot of electronics come now with like Shabbat mode. You can buy them, and it will. You press a button. Yeah. We don't do this in our household, but you can press a button if you're Orthodox. It goes into Shabbat mode. But here's the thing though: if I leave a light on, like my light's on right now, I can leave it on the whole time Shabbat. I just can't touch the light switch. So like you can't do anything with.
So you got to cheat basically. Yes. You got to go into and plan what you're going to need for the next day.
I could just put on Fox in the night before and leave it on my TV the entire day and get my football in, but I don't celebrate Yom Kippur quite like that or Shabbat like that. But
then you have to leave another television on with the other channel that Oregon Ohio State will be on.
But that game is most likely at 7:30 Eastern, so it'll be after I break my fast. So that's what I'm thinking. That for that specific game, I think I'm covered because Oklahoma, Texas that day is moved from noon to 3:30. Right, it's first year at 3:30.
Yeah, well, I don't like that. I don't like that at all.
So I assume the night game is USC Penn State. Do we know that yet? That's that.
I would think that's probably the Fox night game.
Yeah.
Soon.
Yeah.
I hope Big Noon's there. I really hope that we're there for that game. That I know the sometimes early start, early kickoff. It would be an early show out there. But I think you got Leinart out there. Heisman winner, SC legend. I mean, it's a great game. Like, let's just do it. we've done game day shows in the past when I was at ESPN at SC, and when we always had a really good scene. We did it on campus one year,
Yeah.
and it was great. So I'm gonna that's another task. We'll get Leonard on that to have us do Penn State USC. It'll be good. The expansion of the conference, the West Coast footprint. It'll be good to get the Big Noon brand out to LA to SC. That would be good. I'd be all for that. So, and we weren't going to talk college football, right?
Dude, I can't help myself. I got the preview magazines, like a Big Ten Media Day in like 2 weeks, man. Like unfortunately, when I'm not wagering on soccer, I am heavily into the previewing football time of my life. After 4th of July, it begins, man. Like 4th of July is that day, Bear, where you just, even as a player, it's like the final day of quote unquote freedom, right? Where you cheated on your diet, you had a couple drinks, and after that, and I feel it the same way now. Like you could smell football around the corner, and we still got soccer, still got baseball, still got some WNBA to wager on. I mean, there's things to wager on, but it's gonna be back soon.
Right, you said it. You said it. I'm gonna open. See, you led me to another question, which probably feels good for the group chat, but it just feels timely now. And you said like cheating on the diet, like before a camp, like how much did you dread going to mini camp or going to camp, I should say? Like, was your body like, were you way out of shape, just kind of a little bit out of shape, or were you ready for the rigors of camp?
I was ready for camp physically. It's just mentally, right? So I went to 9 training camps, and I went to remarkably 6 of the 9 years we went away to training camp. We don't do that anymore. I went to Wofford College 4 times, went to Minnesota State, and went to Southwest Missouri State, or Missouri Western, wherever the Chiefs go. Missouri Western, I think it is maybe. And so you go away, Beryl. You got to drive and stay at a dorm. You stay at a dorm like for 3 weeks, basically 3 weeks. And so
nice. I'm sure the dorm bed was nice and comfortable too. Long enough for you.
In Spartanburg, the first year you're a rookie, you sleep in like whatever the single bed, whatever they have. The next couple of years, Bear, you go to you call Rent-A-Center, and whatever, and you order a queen bed essentially for 3 weeks. They just bring a queen bed for you. Minnesota, the beds were bigger. Kansas City, they put 2 together, and you buy like a foam pad to put on top, so they basically create one big bed. It's just. It's knowing it's gonna suck. Like you just know that it's not gonna be fun. It's gonna be hard. When I was part of I guess it's multiple CBAs ago, but we still had double days when I was young. And so just getting your mommy, we'd show up on basically Friday night, let's just say, and we have a double practice on Saturday, Bear, 9 a.m. full pads, first practice. Now, there's this ramp up period, right? So the first day you're in helmets for 2 days, and 2 days you have the tops on, but then you have an off day. I mean, you're not even in full pads now until your 6th day in training camp. So I would imagine it wouldn't be as stressful for that to happen now as it was when I sort of was young and went through it. But you just know it's going to suck, man. Like you count down the days, you cross off the days on your calendar every day when it's over. But you also know, this is the important part, right? You also know you have to do this to play. Like my position, but most positions feel the same way. Like you have to practice, Bear. You have to practice. You have to practice to play well. And so it's going to suck, but it's beneficial and you have to do it. And so, I get asked sometimes, like, how'd you practice in the heat? Because it's very hot in Charlotte, North Carolina right now. I'm like, I don't know. You just dealt with it. I don't know what to tell you. You just you had to do it. There was no other option. You had to practice. It was going to hit. You were going to be in double days. You're going to be hot. You're going to be miserable. You're going to be sore. You're going to be beat up, but you just do it. You just do it. And so you just do it, man. But I always remember the feeling, Bear, of the 2 or 3 days before camp, make sure my weight's good. So cutting my weight a little bit, making sure it's good. Weigh-ins are always hard for me. And 2 was like this scramble to get everything done. Like pay every bill, make sure like the family was set up for what they needed for a month without me, like all the loose ends that I hadn't done or done around the house, trying to figure out how to do those things, stock up on camp supplies. And I still get once a year still, the nightmare about like being late to camp or being late to a meeting. I wake up and like just terrified that I missed a meeting, getting fined. I missed training camp. Like I still do it once a year, Bear. Once a year. I feel like I'm gonna transition into like nightmares about losing all these soccer wagers I've lost during the summer. So that we need to finish strong, Bear, with some winning wagers for the last four. It actually ended up being 6 matches of these two tournaments.
5, right? 5, because there's no third place game in the.
I did not know that.
We got 2 semis and then the third. Oh no, yeah, no, wait a minute, no, my math is wrong. 2, 4, 6, 7 matches, right? Because you got 2 semis in Copa, 2 semis in Euros, 1 final, and then 1 third. So 7, yeah,
7.
I was shortchanging us a couple, but yeah, no, we will. The good thing is the live betting, the live in-game betting has been what's really been good.
Yes.
That's what you can really tell once these matches get going about how they're being played and team totals under and unders and draw. You know when teams are ready just to lock it in and play for a draw. A match that I think is ready for a draw potentially is the game that you're going to be at, Colombia or Uruguay. See, I'm putting you there already. So now
I like it. Yeah, I understand. I get it.
And it's basically priced as a draw. Uruguay is -120 to advance. Colombia is -110. Draw Colombia, Uruguay, it's on the 3-way, basically the same. The reason I like Uruguay is because they're kind of built. They can win 1-0. They can feel comfortable going to kicks with the experienced penalty takers that they have. They can win 3-0 if they feel that they are skillfully superior to their opposition. And I think we're going to see a game plan similar to what we saw against Brazil in the quarterfinal, where James and Luis Diaz, they like space and they want that space to create. Yeah. And that's not something Uruguay is going to give them. They didn't give it to Brazil the other night. And I think you're going to see them play another tight, defensive type game, even if it kind of goes against what Bielsa wants to do. I think this is 1-0 Uruguay. I think this is maybe going to kicks again. So I like the under 1.5 here, at 150. And I do like Uruguay to advance at -120.
Bear, we know how physical they can play at times. Does it matter what official they have or what referee they have? Is their style dependent on someone letting a lot of that contact go versus an official that might call more fouls, bring out some more yellows? Are they dependent on that in this game?
Well, that's a good point, because I think the official that we saw the other night really had no clue. And that game kind of got away from him. Unfortunately, he did change the that yellow to red on Nandez, I believe it was, who got the red and got sent off, and he'll miss the match. But yes, if he's dishing out cards like candy, and that's going to cause players on yellow to back off, because you certainly don't want to pick up a second yellow in a game and cause your team to be down a man in a semifinal. So yeah, if the official does start handing out a lot of cards, that would in a sense open it up for more goals. And at the same time, that's why I like Uruguay, because if that happens, they'll be like, oh, okay, we're good with players like Valverde and De La Cruz in the midfield and the players that they have up top, like Darwin Nunez, and like they're okay. They can go that route if it's going to be I think there were 42 fouls, I think, in the match against Brazil. It seemed like there was a whistle every minute in the match. It was a very choppy, ugly match to watch, and that style favored Uruguay, and I think that's what they're going to look to do again.
I will be excited to watch this from the box. I've decided that's where I'm going, Bear.
You're going.
I'm going to get. Someone's going to have a box for me. It has to happen somewhere. I'm actually curious what the get-in price is for this game, because I don't know how many Colombians we have like in our region.
Don't worry, they will make their way there. Trust me.
So this is a question I have. So if you're a fan of a team and you go to their games, you fly back home afterwards. Now in Germany, it's easier because in Germany they're all playing in one country. But in this, they're all over the place, right? They're for the most part in the U.S. now, at least, but they're not in the same city or close by.
Yeah, like I wonder if it's a situation where you kind of wait and you kind of pick your game. Like, you're right. It is hard to, okay, I'm going to go follow the national team in Copa America, and then you're flying from Colombia to Vegas. Oh, and then we got a game in Santa Clara. Oh, and then we got a game in Glendale, and now we're going to fly across the country to Charlotte. Like, that's a lot of travel, and I think that is an issue. But I think these dedicated fans certainly find a way to put themselves in the best possible position to follow their team in the country that they're so passionate about.
Buddy, these are some expensive tickets.
Yeah.
Upper deck in the corner, first row on the upper deck is $400 a ticket.
Ooh. Yeah, I've heard from people throughout the competition that the tickets are pricey.
Oh, babe, you gotta love your team.
Oh, and they do.
Do this.
This is ironic to bring this back to college football. It's so terrible. I remember it would have been the 2016 Rose Bowl, 2015 season, the year Iowa and Michigan State played in the Big Ten championship game.
The Iowa-Stanford Rose Bowl?
The Iowa-Stanford Rose Bowl, exactly. Yeah. And just seeing all the Iowa fans just so excited to be there. And then, like, I can't imagine how much money they spent on flights and tickets to bring their family out there for New Year's in the Rose Bowl, and then to have the game be over 3 minutes into it. I felt so bad for those people. Like, I mean, it was McCaffrey gone, ball game.
He's the best example of an East Coast bias in Heisman voting, because there's no better example. He was the Heisman that year, and no one watches games, and it's why we are now where we are. They just painted the ACC logo on the Cal football field the other day.
So bad.
It just makes
so bad.
You can't even explain this dumb sport to anybody.
I saw a tweet. No, you can't.
When with this, Bear, I saw the tweet from Josh Pate, who said that the Bears will travel 24,000 miles this year for like road games, which is just insane amount. I think this is true. Cal will travel a combined 24,000 miles for their 5 road games this season. Their circumference is 24,900 miles. What a dumb sport we love.
It is dumb. It's dumb, and we love it. This podcast episode was dumb, and we loved it.
It was great. We talked soccer. We talked training camp. We talked college football a little bit, man. We have everyone prepared for what's coming up on the schedule, Bear.
It's great. I always found in the former podcast that I did, we got more of a reaction about the like game and betting stuff than we did like when I was giving out my flight route itinerary to how do you get to Eugene? How do you get to College Station? How do you get to Columbia, Missouri? Like people, where are you staying? What's the restaurant?
And the food. Yes.
What time are you getting up on Sunday morning to catch that flight? Like ridiculous stuff, like the stuff that had nothing to do with anything, kind of like the Seinfeld episode. That's the stuff that people
all the Seinfeld episodes.
But it was great. Somebody the other day sent me a clip of the episode where they're sitting at the restaurant, George and Jerry, and they're talking about like Holland and the Netherlands. So what's Holland? It was just perfect. It's great. So, on that note,
yes,
appreciate everybody for suffering through that episode. No, you didn't suffer. You laughed. You enjoyed it. You loved it.
You did.
Appreciate you checking us out. Appreciate you always for downloading. Remember to rate, review, and subscribe, and tell us how great we are, or how idiotic we are, or however much you enjoyed it. So for Jeff, I'm Bear. Remember, the less you bet, the more you lose when you win.